Claymore is a manga series done by Norihiro Yagi. I watched the anime series first and I really enjoyed it. It wasn't complete though because the manga was still being done as the show was made, so the ending of the show is different from the manga, and the manga has the full story. So I really enjoyed the sort of concept of Claymore. Essentially, half human, half monster hybrids are created in order to combat Yoma. Yoma are shape-shifting monsters that feed on human intestines. They can shape-shift, and they're really hard to find and kill if you're a human. So these Claymores are sent to kill them, and the series starts off very basic. It's your simple Clare is a Claymore, and she wants to find a certain one, and she kills a lot of different Yoma, and then the plot sort of gets a little bit more ambitious as the series goes on. The artwork's very simple. After reading volume 11, it sort of changes the plot. The plot gets a little bit convoluted near the end. There are four main antagonists really, and they all get introduced and taken care of. However, near the end, there's like this revolution happening, and a certain group of Claymores are trying to fight the organization that they work for, because the organization is corrupt, and the organization is able to bring back to life 3 old warriors, and they just keep throwing in new characters at the end, and it's awesome. It's action-packed. I love it, but it doesn't slow down. There's no sense of like a chance to breathe. It's just like, okay, now you got to fight these 3 classic, Claymores from old, and they're brought back to life, and then you have to fight 3 more things, and then the main villain shows up. And the ending itself, for me, wasn't very satisfying. It seemed a little rushed, but overall, I really enjoy some of the smaller characters they introduced. They introduced like this sort of girl who's really powerful, but she's a little bit not psychologically sound, so she has a caretaker. And some of the antagonists from earlier in the series end up becoming allies. I really liked how they do a time skip sort of after volume 11, where the anime series ends and the characters become more badass and they become better fighters because they've been training for the last 7 years. However, they also sort of usher in a new generation of new Claymores that they have to take on, rescue, and sometimes fight with. So Claymore is definitely a good manga series to check out if you're into dark fantasy with lots of action. It can be comparable to Berserk. Berserk obviously has better artwork and probably better like action spreads, but Claymore is very similar in the sense that the artwork also does that. Norihiro also does full-page spreads and cool looking art and cool monster design for sure. Some of the awakened beings later on in the second half of the series is really interesting. There's plenty of action in this series. It's definitely recommended for fantasy fans. So if you're going to check it out, definitely watch the anime first and then read the manga. That's my recommendation. I definitely recommend Claymore, the anime, and the manga.